Welcome back to Rooftop Rambles here. It's Niijii.
What's up? Good morning. It's Urbanamp.
It's January 15th, 2018. And, shit, another one.
Is there another fucking bee? Are you serious?
Yes.
You're kidding me, right?
No.
What the fuck? Where'd it go? Where'd it go?
By his car. Oh my god. That shit.
This is gonna get sayed. We're getting sniped out here.
Oh my god.
What the fuck?
Oh, shit. You record? I don't know. Some kind of signal here? Oh my god.
Sorry.
All right, sorry.
Okay. A bee just went for Niijii's face just now.
My god.
Headshot. Trying to take you out there.
Oh my god. Okay. So I watched a video earlier just about these chemtrails and them Nazis. It's going now, but
Okay. That was a
it's super long.
It just seems like it's lasting longer than usual, but it could be that. Maybe that's cold too. It seems like it's lasting longer than usual. Sorry, we're just observing so we have a really good view of just the sky over Los Angeles right now, and we can see like sort of the general direction of LAX and planes leaving and coming from there. And we saw a plane sort of rising in altitude, going northeast, and it was making what appeared to be a contrail, like sort of the normal stuff,
The normal.
not persistent. It dissipates, fairly quickly. And then the trail started to lengthen and stay and sort of persist longer than usual. So we were curious, but it's just I think it's made its way across the sky now. It looks like it's all dissipated pretty normally. So anyway,
So I was watching Into the Stars this morning, and he had an interesting video about contrails not happening before before 2000 or somewhere around there. So he's watching like old home videos and stuff, and looking at the sky, looking at different movies.
like home movies. And
home
stuff.
movies, yeah.
That's a really clever way to look
not
at it.
and just taking a picture of like a snapshot of the skyline.
Dude.
Oh my god.
The bee is on the phone right now. You're kidding me. It looks like...
Did you have a banana the other day too, or no?
Did I have a banana the other day? Shoot, I can't remember, because I have a banana almost every morning.
Okay.
That looks like a real bee, right? That's not like mechanical? Because they make that shit,
I was cleaning antenna, so...
Okay.
I don't know.
He's here for his lost brother, right?
But, so, that was interesting, I don't know if one of this...
I've been wondering for a while, where, because it's hard to trust your older memories or your child memories, because it's like, who knows how much of this stuff our brains kind of make up.
Correct.
We're older now, and we're looking back
filling
at
the
the
gaps
past.
and stuff.
I have like emotional, responses to old memories and imagery and stuff. And I'm not sure how much truth there is to that, So I can't recall if I've ever seen a chemtrail prior to maybe the last, few years, and that's only because now that I'm so hyper aware of what's in the sky, that I think back, and it's like I certainly wasn't very much aware before. I didn't used to look up before, and like how we were talking like the other day, it's like people don't look up, and I was like every other person. I didn't look up. I didn't really pay attention to what was going on around me. So just my lack of awareness of chemtrails until recently. I can't say with the certainty that doesn't have any that just the fact that I was unaware might be a big reason why I didn't notice it. Or so like whether or not it was occurring or not, I can't say. It's unknown, and then like I think that's sort of that's another unfortunate sort of that's a sort of a general truth about all this stuff that's been going on. Is like, well, if you're not aware, if you're not awoke to it, then you're not really going to be paying attention. So who's to say if it's real or not? And Wait, you use honey in your coffee?
I use honey in my coffee. Is that what it is? I was it's tea.
You have tea.
Yeah, I'm trying to
Do you
get...
have tea like every morning?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. I'm switching over to tea, but I put honey in it. I'm trying to use more natural.
That's insane.
Yeah, I'm trying to switch over off the coffee, you know.
Yeah.
Or I'll have it maybe on the weekends, but...
The legal drug, yeah.
Yeah, so...
Okay, so that could be it. Maybe there's... But, I mean, what? They're going to come up 6 stories for
the honey?
honey in your tea? That still seems kind of...
No, but they make honey, though. You know what I mean? Like, they're not
they're
looking
not
for
go
honey.
after.
Yeah, they're not looking for it.
Maybe they think they found like a rival
That could be
nest
it.
up here, rival hive.
So sorry, I'm sorry they got you
No,
stoned.
it was you.
It
At 2?
was hunting for me, but I'm sorry. I apologize for that. There's other thing I want to talk about.
Yeah.
Just speaking of honey and just food in general.
Is it for real, man?
No, it's for real.
Put me on my back now.
Very good. So I was researching on like diets. So this is like an ongoing topic as far as like your race, ethnicity, and nationality. You know what I mean? It's just kind of ongoing. I really want to just have I just want to have a talk.
But then it went over.
Okay.
It's not on me, right?
No.
Dude, this is getting crazy. We're over here doing like Matrix, like dives and stuff.
It's crazy, man. But
okay.
just about the diet, like, so just with the Atlantic slave trade, I mean, I hate going back to it, but it's just so, it kind of just it touches me personally, I guess, per se. But if you were on a ship coming across here, right, and you were dragged from your homeland, plopped here, said to work the land that you have no idea of the climate, how to work it, how to farm, how to produce food, how to, you know what I mean?
Yeah. That's okay. Sorry, keep going. That's
Yeah.
a really interesting thought.
And I was thinking about, okay, so that's gonna take years for you, right? So how much time do you have for the people to work the land? Because by you being a colonist, you're coming from Europe, you're a different latitudes, so things grow different here, and you know what I mean. So that would take a while. The only way you would do that is you have to take the indigenous people here, because they would know how to grow.
They would know how to develop the land here.
Yeah, you would bring people from another continent. You know what I mean?
It's even more reason.
You would bring.
Yeah. Plus, I don't
somebody
know. I mean,
here too.
Are the West African tribes, like, are they farmers? Are they agriculturalists, or are they more hunter-gatherers?
Give you hunter-gatherers, or maybe from the coast. You know what I mean? Maybe you're fisher, probably. I'm sure, right? Just
there it is again.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Maybe it's the alien face on your cup. Oh shit! It's gonna come after you now.
Shit. But yeah, so then I was thinking about so I was doing research on native foods, like what did those tribes foods can consist of, and it was a lot of the foods my grandparents made. So
wait, native tribes, like Native American tribes, or I mean, how do you do that kind of research?
Well, indigenous. I just couldn't started. Yeah. Because Native American, right? Because we're both Native American, right? So
it's okay. Okay, so I mean, but like when you look into those kinds of foods, which like, what are you searching for? What's your search term?
Just you want to know what foods grow in this longitude.
Okay, yeah. Local or like regional. Okay.
Regional foods, right? So there's only foods that only grow in Peru. So obviously you can't grow them here. You won't grow wherever, right? So just some of those terms, some of the names, and cross-reference them with other foods that the Europeans would cook, because they wouldn't cook corn hash, or they wouldn't cook, you know what I mean, cornbread. You know what I mean? That's not what they would cook. So just doing cross-referencing with stuff like that. So it was pretty interesting. Like I said, I just scratched the surface. Like that can go real. It can go deep, but like I said, I would like to have this discussion with everybody doing research on their own ethnicity, and then kind of bringing that
how the food
to the forefront, you know, to
really
a table,
cool, yeah,
just
to a dinner table. Oh,
yeah,
sorry, but yeah, like how diet cuisine is like related to region, and environment of whatever people's, like where they live, and then, that makes a lot of sense. That's like how okay, so a couple things, like got corn, right? You're saying how Europeans would make cornbread because corn is like a big North American crop, right? So last night I had a dessert that my sister-in-law made. It involves some kind of a chocolate ganache on top, and we were just, not we, but I just kind of eavesdropping. My wife and her were just kind of chatting about like what they use to make the food, just doing their whatever chit chat. And she's like, "Oh yeah, chocolate ganache. I used chocolate chips. I melted them, mixed it with some whipping cream, like heavy whipping cream, and corn syrup. And that's like the main ingredients, like corn syrup is like how it keeps the consistency or something."
Okay.
And I found that really interesting. I was like, oh, wait, isn't... And so I I had to butt in because I was like, wait, isn't ganache like a French thing, like a French cuisine or something? And she said, yeah, I'm not even sure yet. I should probably look this stuff up. But if that is, then, so then I asked, okay, well, if it's French, then corn syrup probably isn't how... I would imagine that if ganache is older than like a couple hundred years, then I didn't use corn syrup originally, right? What was the original ingredient?
What was the original?
So now it's corn syrup, but because they didn't have corn syrup before.
Yeah, no. Molasses,
it's not even
honey,
that there wasn't even corn. There wasn't corn syrup for a while,
correct.
Because that was like a more modern invention, right? So, but she didn't know the answer to that, and so like I find stuff like that, pretty interesting, because it's like okay, so like another thing is, I had a pecan pie for the first time about 4 or 5 years ago.
Pecan or pecan?
There you go. I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess depends on where you're asking. So, and I'd asked this like a similar question. I was like, oh, so where, how come you know how to? Because it was like some girl I was dating. I was like, how come you know how to make this? What is this? Is this like a family tradition or something, or what's this deal? And she's all, oh no, it's something that like my mom used to make, and I don't know. It's like, she didn't know where the recipe had derived from, or like what kind of historical, what the history of the pie was, right?
Okay.
So I looked into it then, and I found out that really, supposedly, like at least according to my research, the pecan pie wasn't even a thing before, I think it was looking back, I think it was the 40s or 50s when they developed corn syrup, and then they found a recipe to match up with this new product so that they could sell it.
To be
it's like, oh, okay, so it's been around as long as corn syrup's been around, because the primary ingredient in pecan pie is corn syrup. It's like you could just put corn syrup and pecans and some butter and so, so I found that really interesting. I was like, okay, so then it's like the industry, the agriculture industries that spring up, probably will tend to influence the cuisine. They got to find a market. Exactly. You have this product, you're like, I want to sell it. I've got a bunch of pork here.
Correct.
I want to sell more pork. Yeah. Okay. Let's go hire Edward Bernays. Sorry, that's he's so like that gets into more like the social like engineering concept, where you sort of influence society through advertising or memes or something, or and then so like there's that. I guess it's probably semi-famous, right? The Edward Bernays thing, where bacon and eggs, you know, and how that wasn't a thing until
that
they made it a thing.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know if that's even. Oh yeah, a lot of people probably don't know about that, honestly, right? Because we had to talk with somebody, right?
Yeah, you're right.
We did have to talk with somebody and ask them, what do you think about breakfast? What do you think about, right? Oh, I have to say.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I guess
an American
semi-famous,
breakfast, right?
maybe only to people that research truthers and truther info and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Just, I mean, I would say an American breakfast is, you know what I mean? I'll have to say American breakfast, right?
Yeah, I mean,
study here.
Is that a thing anywhere else?
I don't know. You know, that's what I'm saying. Like
eggs are a thing, but bacon and eggs.
Bacon and eggs, yeah.
Anyway, sorry. Well, we went on a ramble. Okay, so diet and
yeah.
Was there anything more?
Like I said, I only scratched the surface. So I really don't want to go into it because I just scratch. You know, like pumpkins and like squash and and the gourds and stuff like that. You know, they ate.
I mean, Thanksgiving feast, you mean?
That kind of that the Europeans didn't eat. You know what I mean? But according to one study, they thought it was poisonous. You know, the pumpkins and stuff like that. But
they thought the pumpkins were poisonous. That's interesting.
But like I said, that's only one study. I was only one page that I saw. I just wanted to. I just found it interesting. Just trying to figure out more on this.
No, that's a
trade
cool
because there's so many different loopholes there that you have to close up. You know what I mean? Like this is your product. You don't want your product to spoil. You know what I mean? For bringing people over, this is your cargo. You cannot have it spoiling because it's a monetary thing. So even to have another crew go with you back over there and saying, well, we're not making enough money. I'm not gonna go on that voyage with you because you're not bringing back enough cargo. You know what I mean?
Well, there's all kinds of reasons why it's like, and you know, I think as with most truths, right? Like once you start to really think about a narrative that we've been fed, it's pretty easy. It's pretty simple to break it down and find the loopholes, find the plot holes. I guess. You know, it's so. Yeah. Okay. So we brought over a bunch of West Africans from the tribes and stuff over to the Eastern Americas, right?
Yeah.
And I guess
South Americas.
Southern. South Americas.
Yeah.
And to the southeast portion of North America, right?
Yeah.
And we say, okay, now you're going to cultivate our crops.
Correct.
Crops that are local and natural and endemic, I guess, to North America and South America, right? But like, if they didn't, why would they have a natural understanding to do this? Right? So they'd have to be trained and developed, and it had to be like generations of training and developing for there to be people that really knew how to do this well. Right? And so in the meantime, are all those white slave owners, are they working next to the slaves, doing it right so they don't lose a harvest?
Yeah.
It's like you said, economically, does that make sense to just be like, okay, you're fresh off the boat,
the language barrier is there, so you don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah, you don't even know what you're saying to each other because there's no language connection. That's okay, now go harvest this cotton. It's like, what the fuck is cotton? What are you talking about? It's that makes a lot of sense. You don't think about this stuff. That's so good, man. It's so good. And I feel like we can probably get into all kinds of reasons why that makes no sense. Just starting from there, okay, so they wouldn't know what to do with the plants in front of them. I mean, even if they're naturally, like, for some reason that tribe was an agricultural tribe or something, sure, they have green thumbs, okay.
Right.
But, like, if they've never seen the plant before, how can they know how to do it, what to do with it? So they'd have to get the info from the local people, from the slave owners or other local people, right?
Yeah.
How would they communicate that? And then, so what a strange dynamic to have the people that own the slaves alongside the slaves working together to to cultivate this crop so that those first few seasons don't go to waste.
Don't go to waste.
Because right, how much? Because there had to have been a cost, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
what you have to
either
feed them.
you bought the slaves or you
the
paid
property. You still got to feed them.
The people that had the boats, or it's like you paid to have this labor.
It's monetary.
It has to work out.
It has to
or you're screwed. So you're sitting there working alongside your slave, and what you didn't develop some sense of like, oh well. Like I don't know, camaraderie or something, or friendship, where you didn't develop it seems like every single person there was this inhumane psychopath or sociopath who just like worked alongside all these peoples from another place, and they didn't learn to overcome those. That's a hard pill to swallow. That's interesting. Yeah. You don't think about this stuff. It's not like in school. Consider.
You got
the economic trade-off of bringing a brand new race to.
So it's going to come up in a few weeks, right? So it's going to be February in a few weeks.
Oh yeah, Black History Month.
And you're going to get 28 days of the same.
Yeah.
Stuff, right?
They're going to be like...
It's not going to be questioned.
Trump doesn't know Frederick Douglass is dead.
Correct.
They're going to be like, Martin Luther King Jr. was awesome, even though we fucking killed him.
Yeah.
Even though it was a CIA plot to assassinate him, and they murdered the man. Even though he survived the initial gunshot wound. No one knows that. He survived the gunshot wound and died in a hospital a day or two later. No one knows about that. Yeah.
But so
it's about Malcolm X. Sorry, makes me all
Harry
bitter.
Truman, you have the Underground Railroad, how they came on boats, and just, the same stuff year after year, but nobody's is questioning these. Oh my God!
We're getting some pretty good moves here. The bee is still coming after us, by the way. I don't know. There's no video on this. We're like swerving and dodging all of this whole time.
Yeah, so like I said, let's just. I don't know what to say. Just give us the history, man. Just you know what I mean. Just But anyway, so I just thought that was interesting. So I'm gonna do more on that and just kind of piece together bits where we can have like a round table and just kind of discuss it and.
That'd be good.
Different.
We'll do like a ethnic cuisine research panel. That'd be cool. I could look into my Persian stuff. Yeah, that'd be cool. We can get your other friend on there for Latin American side. Okay, so also this morning I noticed that I'm sorry, getting confused. Last night. I looked up and caught this really cool-looking chemtrail. I know that sounds lame, like cool-looking, but because okay, so like I said, I was at my sister-in-law's house having dinner, and I went outside for some reason. I look up, and I noticed this line forming, but it was so sort of short or so new that it hadn't gotten very long yet, so I wasn't sure if it was a contrail or a chemtrail, so like I will usually give it a few seconds or so to see, is it persisting, and it did. And then as it was starting to lengthen, I noticed that there was one coming in from the left side, almost not like 90 degrees, but maybe like 70 degrees out,
Okay.
And like coming toward this newly started line, but from like the beginning of that first line.
Okay.
It was like making this corner, and like as the first one was lengthening, then this other one comes in at this angle and like perfectly crossed it, and I just saw this like brand new, it like looked like this brand new, XY axis or something. It was just very. It's like they're doing graphs in the sky. It was really interesting looking. Anyway, I just thought that was really interesting. I'll send you I'll try and post a pic along with this too.
Okay.
But you know how there's the when you start to research into chemtrails, what you might get into is, or what you might stumble upon is the idea of solar remediation, or essentially blocking the sun, or reflecting the sun rays back out.
Uh-huh.
and how that, and how, what is it? Oh, geez, I forget the guy's name. There's that one climate research scientist who, he's like the head. He's, for some reason, he's like the spokesperson, and he's like, for like over the years, he's always the one saying, we need to do something to change the climate. We need to do something right now, even if it, even if we don't know the consequences. And he kind of says this every few years, And I think just recently, as last year, I was at Harvard.
Harvard, yeah.
Sort of made an announcement almost alongside this research. Man, I have to think about his name. Yeah. That they plan on doing, was it stratospheric aerosol injection in order to reflect the sun rays back out to reduce global warming, which is like that sentence is like, what's that line from The Last Jedi? Like, wow, everything you just said is wrong. It's but anyway, so I was, I watch Richie from Boston all the time. That guy's pretty rad, and he talks a lot about like, oh look, today they're blocking the sun again, that kind of stuff, and even though and I think this has kind of been true for a lot, like just in regard to his channel and the things he talks about over this last year or so, like I kind of started off with a lot more skepticism about what he's talking about, and slowly becoming more and more like, oh, okay, everything he says is kind of true, but at the,
which is fine, because that's what,
of course, right?
because he even says that, if you don't believe me, do your own research.
Exactly. So the more I like learn more and research, I'm like, damn, okay, I guess, okay, he's right. Even though it sounds crazy at first, it's like the more you research, you're like, oh, wait a second, okay. So the whole, I was always kind of skeptical of the sun blocking thing, where he would show a video and it's like, oh look, they're blocking the sun today, and I just kind of thought to myself, like, well, in the context of where you're looking with your camera,
correct, right?
I don't know, can you really say that the intent is to block the sun? It just kind of seemed like, I don't know if that seems like a leap to make that conclusion, but the last week or so, I've been looking up and watching them make their trails across the sky, and I don't know if it's so hard to, because this is so much of this is speculative, and so much is like we don't know anything, so we're just trying to figure it out with like very limited knowledge, very limited info, right? Because all this stuff is so occulted and cryptic, So I'm looking up and watching them spray their patterns everywhere, and it's like I think I'm starting to see patterns, and see like, oh, well, they do this direction first, and this one goes over and cross hatches this way, and then you see it, 30 minutes later, it's made this little cloud layer, this little cotton candy fuzz cotton ball in the sky shit. And I really think lately I've been noticing that it seems like they're building these line networks that spread out and block the sun. It's like I feel like the last few days I'm like, wait a second, I'm looking up, and a few hours ago it was just lines, and now the sun is behind this weird hazy cloud, and I can look at the sun, it doesn't hurt my eyes because it's blocks. That's what happened in the last few days, and I'm just, all right, okay, Richie, sorry, there's one more for you. Richie 10, urbanamp 0. Anyway, so they're blocking the sun.
That's a very good observation, but it's very good to be skeptical on it, because that's the only way you're gonna do your own research, right? I mean, because you shouldn't believe anybody anyway. So you should be doing your own research, because if you're just gonna sit there and be force fed, you might as well be indoctrinated, just go to school and just be indoctrinated and just
that's the same thing. I also think it's important to be skeptical, but also be humble enough to hear another side, hear a new view, alternate view, an alternate theory, like to, because it's like, what the thing, like the truth of it is that a lot of what's going on is kind of crazy, right? It seems unusual, it seems crazy, it seems out there, but when you think about it, really, I mean, everything is what is normal anyway, right? Like the things that we think are normal are just the things that we're used to, and we're used to it. Why? Well, because we're indoctrinated that way. Because we're told this is normal and those things are not. really everything is kind of weird and wacky in this world we live in. You know, this life we live. So I don't know, it makes a lot more sense, I think, to be open-minded to like another possibility. You know,
I think so.
This podcast brought to you by the bee.
Yes,
that's stalking us all morning.
All right, this is Niijii,
urbanamp,
signing off. Take care.
Peace.
And go. Shit, another one.
Is there another fucking bee? Are you serious?
Yes.
You're kidding me, right?
No. What the fuck? Oh my God.